Well, hello, good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight with Green River Asset Building Coalition. I'm going to talk a little bit about free taxes and how to get those for your family if you meet certain qualifications. We do it based on low to moderate income families and then seniors, those that are disabled, and then military. And then, of course, we also have a segment in our establishment where if they're not great English speakers, whether they're Burmese or whatever language it is that they speak, we do have some interpreters that we can get on the phone to help us out as well. And we do it for free for them. So one thing that I try to tell people when they're asking us about, like when they come in and do the taxes, we don't really know exactly the amount of money that they have to make yet this year for the low to moderate income, because the IRS, they set the amount and then that's what we have to go off. But like last year for a family income, it was right at about $70,000. So I know that seems high to some because that seems high to low to moderate income. However, people have to understand that that is also based off of everyone in the United States of America, because they lump it into one sum. And so we at GRABC, we file the taxes. We sit with the clients. We prepare the taxes. And one cool thing that we do is we try to explain to those that are going to be getting back a substantial amount of money with the earned income credit. Earned income credit is something that they gain for having children. Now, some that have a lower income bracket can also get some of the earned income credit depending on how it is in their taxes preparation. So, with that being said, if you have someone that comes in and let's say they're going to be getting back, let's just say a basic $2,500. $2,500 doesn't seem like a lot of money, but to some, that's a lot of money. So, trying to teach them how to maybe take $1,000, put in their checking account, take $1,500 and put in a savings account. Who knows? Maybe they pull out of the driveway and their tire's flat come May or June. And if they have that money put back, even if it's just $500, then they have the means to be able to have that tire fixed. So, and then just teaching them what it is to budget. They think, well, I got this big $2,500 check. Now I just go buy a TV or maybe some, I don't know, Nike shoes. I'm trying to think of what I hear some. And just teaching them how to budget that money, because what happens if, oh my goodness, the gas bill's really high because we had an extremely cold winter. And well, if I've got that nest egg over here, then I can pull from that. So just teaching them how to budget with that money that they get, instead of it being like that, well, it's just extra income. We got income one, which we make at our job, and income two, I got all this money for my taxes. And it's a system of, I'm very guilty myself. Hobby Lobby's having a sale, so what am I going to do? I want to go to Hobby Lobby because I heard 90% off on their Christmas decorations. My husband told me, no more Christmas decorations. Well, that can happen. However, it's just the way we're built. We want to go buy a TV because it's tax season and they're running all these tax sales. But we also have to remember that we all have to have the means to be able to live, whether it's put clothes on our children, go to the grocery store, maybe you want to cook that special meal for someone's birthday, and just having that extra income put aside is also a great tool to use. Whenever someone comes in and does their taxes with us, they do have to remember to bring their Social Security card and their driver's license. We've had instances where someone says, well, I don't have a driver's license, or I don't have a Social Security card. Unfortunately, for us to file their taxes free through the IRS, they will have to have that. So as they start moving to the tax season, we will start filing taxes January 29th, that's a Monday, at our tax site. So go ahead and get those IDs. Make sure you've got a Social Security card. Even if it's a copy, we don't have to have the original Social Security card, but we do have to have the original ID. Now, if I have someone that is disabled and they don't have a driver's license and they have an ID, that is fine. I don't want someone to think they have to have a driver's license. Any type of Kentucky state issued ID will work for the taxes. And then, just basically, when we're talking low to moderate income, that's pretty standard. Now, when we get to the senior level of the income tax, we do that for any age of the seniors from 65 on, and any income. So it doesn't matter what they make. A lot of them will have retirement. Now there are some taxes that we can't do because we are kind of limited, but for the most part, we can handle most seniors' taxes, and that's a great benefit for them because they're also on a very tight budget. And you know, every time that we do a tax we prepare a tax for somebody, it's between $300 to $400. When you go to like the fast, quick taxes, it can be $90 all the way up to $500 to have your taxes prepared. So that means we're automatic. The minute that you step through our door, we're saving you that money. So you have to look at it, whatever you're getting back in your taxes, you just saved at least $100 because we're not charging you to prepare those taxes. Another classification is disabled. If we have anyone that's disabled, sometimes they don't even have to file taxes because they are disabled and their income level doesn't require them to file taxes. However, those that do need to have their taxes filed and they're disabled, then we will do that for free for them as well. There's a lot of tools in our community, which we had a meeting yesterday afternoon at lunchtime with a lot of resources that were here. And I suggest that if anyone is looking for something that they don't see out there, whether it's the taxes, how can I save, how do I get a budget, financially, how do I help, how can I get help? I would say that you need to reach out to the center because they have the resources here. They can help you, at least guide you in the right direction of who you need to talk to. So I'm gonna go back again. We are a free tax service. We help you out. Now, you have to bring your W-2s, your 1099s. We can't do it just because you look good and you've got an ID and a social security card. So you gotta bring your income in. We do have a lot of people say, well, I can deduct this and I can deduct that. And there are a lot of deductions that can happen, but the government has made the standardized deductions so extremely high. A lot of times you can't even use the deductions. I think right now for a single, no dependents, just a single person, I think it's like $13,000. So it takes a lot to reach that deduction. Even with the mortgage interest, you don't even sometimes make it with that. So you might want to call the tax site and just ask us, do you think I'm going to need to bring these forms in? And we'll be able to tell you. If you're a family of 4, it's like right at about $27,000 of the standard deductions. So there's really, you don't have to bring all that paperwork in. Now, sometimes we have people that have been doing their taxes for a lot of years, and it doesn't matter how many times we tell them what the standard deduction is, they still want to, and we'll still sit down with them and go through and make sure that the standardized deduction is more than what they would want to itemize. And then, you know, a couple other things that we like to tell everyone is that, you know, when you come into the tax site, if you don't have a checking account, it's okay. People are also afraid that, you know, they don't want to open a bank account. Some are, I don't want to have an account because something will happen to my money, or I don't know what'll happen to it. It's also a very unsafe situation to go cash a check for $5,000 and have it in your possession. So we do a program called, it's a CFR focus card, where they can come in, they can file their taxes that day with us. We would open that CFR card for them. There's no credit check. There's no fee to them. There's no fee for them to put money on it. There's no fee for them to withdraw money. And their tax return literally goes right onto that card. And a lot of times it's much quicker than getting a paper check. Sometimes a paper check can be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. And we've seen it load on those cards in like sometimes 14 to 18 days. So that's a great service that we offer, just so that way that when you walk out of there on that specific day, you know you're going to get a card in the mail. Sometimes the card comes 7 to 8 days, and then just a few days later, you've already got the money on there. So that's a great tool for someone that doesn't really need to have that cash in hand, because, you know, I mean, I've lost money before, and that would be the worst feeling to know that I've got all that money in my hand and have that opportunity to lose it. And then, you know, we do a lot of direct deposits. If you do have a checking account and savings account, you'll just need to bring in whatever shows routing numbers for your checking account or savings account, so that we could make sure that it gets into the right accounts. I'm trying to think of anything else as far as the taxes go. Now, we are open only on a 3-hour window. We basically sit down with you, we do the taxes. it goes through almost 3 people before we ever send it to the IRS. So we can make sure that everything has been quality reviewed and we know that your taxes are right. Am I saying that there won't be errors? There's always errors. It could be the error of the tax payer that comes in and doesn't have all the documents. It could be an error on the computer system. It could be an error on a tax preparer. And the thing that is so cool about our program is all of our tax preparers are volunteers, every one of them. They don't get paid anything. They're doing this to be a service to everyone in our community that would qualify for this program. So I do believe that as the tax season is coming up, and we all know it's very daunting, you gotta get all your stuff together, you gotta figure out, have I got all my W-2s? Because some people might work 5 or 6 jobs and you're still waiting for that one silly W-2 to come through. And so once you have everything together, put it in a folder, come in and see us. I have had people ask, well, Teresa, I don't really want to sit there for an hour and wait in line, and because it can be a time-consuming day. I don't want to really wait in line. You can also bring all of your stuff in. You'll have to fill out a form. That form will say all the questions that we would typically ask you if we were going to sit down with you and do the taxes. We would put that form in a file, and then we would do, on Wednesday our office is closed, but all of our preparers will come in and they're going to do what's called drop-off day. So all the drop-offs that have happened throughout the week, they will sit down on Wednesday and then do those drop-offs. That way, if there's any questions about the taxes, then they can call there from GRABC, call the client and say, hey, we don't have a W-2, or you're not showing a 1099, but you said you had cash money. So that way we can make sure that we have a time for people that don't just want to come and sit in line. So those are a lot of the do's, the don'ts, the wants, the needs that we have at the organization. Now, the cool thing is we have moved. Anyone that knew who we were as Green River Asset Building Coalition and GRABC, we were on 2nd Street. We have relocated to Sherm Road. It's 1741 Sherm Road here in Owensboro. Anyone that knows where Wendell's Foodland, IGA, now it's called Priceless Foods. We're in that complex, and parking is much easier to get in and out of. There is a bus stop there, so if anyone needs to ride the bus, it is the Violet bus. So they would drop you off. You would have to find out what the times are, because that I'm not sure of, but I do know that it's the Violet route, and they drop you right at the shopping center. So you come straight into the tax site, go back, get on the bus, depending on the time frame, and then they'll take you right back to wherever it is you need the location to the bus stop. Right now, we do not do any appointments. It's walk-in service. What I will say is we've had a lot of illness and things like that we've been seeing come up. If we felt like that it needed to go to appointment only, we would definitely get it out in the media or into your all's hands that we would go to appointment only. But right now, unfortunately, it's first come, first serve. You come wait in line, you get to get your taxes done. We have had lines long enough that we can't get everybody in and we have to turn people away. We hate that. But there's only so many bodies and so many taxes that can be done within those hours. Other than that, I'm just trying to think of anything that we would do for the community based around the taxes. Now, we have reached out to a lot of the shelters, working with the school systems, trying to get into the programs there to help with the family resources, the clientele that we need to get into our building. So anyone that would know of another resource for us can reach out to me at any time. You could either call us at 270-685-1603, or they can just go to our Facebook page. Our Facebook page has a lot of activity at it now. It used to be very kind of silent. I would like to see our Facebook page really grow. So all they have to do is go find Green River Asset Building Coalition, like our page. That'll also say, because we all know we're coming up in January here, we're going to have some snow. We all hate that word. And so there's going to be times during the tax season where we may have to shut down due to weather. And the best way to find that out would be, obviously, we'll put it on the radio and in the news media, but being on our Facebook, letting people know that the tax site is closed. The only other time that our tax site might close, and I hate to even say this, is if we don't have enough volunteers for the day. because the way that we have to run the facility is that we have to have someone that checks them in, we have to have someone that prepares taxes, and then we have to have a quality reviewer. So if for some reason we don't have all those elements, we may have to close the site down. And that's based around the fact that we are 100% volunteers, and if we don't have enough volunteers, then we would have to close that down. We do not want to do that. We want to prepare. This year, our goal is 6,000 taxes, and that would be over the 9 counties that we serve. Owensboro did 2,000 last year. We're trying to shoot for at least 2,500 this year. I would like to see us grow in 2025 to 3,000 and just continue to grow. With getting it in, getting out in the community and people getting to know us, I really do believe that that's an easy task to accomplish. But again, I gotta have the volunteers in order to grow that. So if you are listening and watching this YouTube, then if you know anyone that wants to volunteer and crunch numbers and do taxes, you need to have them call me. Because obviously it's not something that everybody wants to do, but the one thing I will tell you is this group of people that volunteer, it's like family. They are cooking dinner, they're bringing treats. I heard that I might gain some weight from some of this good food. So, if that's all you get out of it, then, then you need to come. But I think that because it's so, it touches every heartstring it's just pulled at you, to be able to help the clients that we actually serve, that we need all the volunteers we can get. And I think that it would be a great addition to anyone that's looking for a volunteer time. Now, questions we get. Well, I'm not a tax preparer. I'm not a CPA. I don't know anything about taxes. I just took 4 tests. If I can pass them, anyone can pass them. I'm not a tax person. I always said I would not do taxes, and here I am helping. I am not doing taxes. Mark my word, I'm saying this on camera. I will help. But at the end of the day, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. So for me to sit here and say that I really do believe that anyone that's like on the fence, it's very basic taxes. There is advanced, so don't get me wrong. There's advanced taxes, there's military taxes, there's all these other things, but you don't have to qualify for that if you just want to do basic taxes. And also with that, you are helping those clients. You're helping the clients that come in and see you, sometimes to do the budget, sometimes to find out how to be financially responsible. So there's a lot of different elements with it besides just being a tax preparer. And the one thing that I have witnessed since I've started, and I've only been the executive director since August, but the one thing that I have witnessed, and to me, coming from my background, is that these volunteers, they volunteer sometimes maybe 2 hours a week. Some of them are volunteering 12 hours a week. I got one volunteer that she volunteers 20 hours a week. She tells me stories that I just can't believe. Like, it's just so touching, because you may have touched a grandma that she's raising her grandkids now. And so, just that fact that now I've got this extra money, and, I hate to say it, but she probably knows how to budget because she's been budgeting for years, where someone that I'm trying to teach maybe a child how to budget, they don't know how to budget. I think I said yesterday, some kids don't even know how to sign a check. They don't even know how to write a check. And so we love to be able to teach when they're doing the taxes, and they do. They try to as much as possible. And that's so telling that they love what they do, these volunteers do. And so if you want to be a part of that, just somebody, has any questions, you can call us, email us, go on our website. There's an email there on the website. You can just click on it. It'll send us the information. Or you can go to our Facebook page and send us a message, and I'll be able to respond pretty quickly to you. I think that for the most part, my goal as we're moving forward in the 2024, okay, let me go back. We're going into 2024 year, but we're actually doing 2023 tax season. It's so confusing. So as we move forward into the 2024 tax filing season, but the 2023 tax season, I just want to see more connection and relationships that are built, maybe not just from our volunteers, but from our clients. Because, when they come in and get their taxes prepared, they're sitting there sometimes for an hour together. So let's figure out, hey, what do you do to budget? Maybe that's the conversations that need to happen in there, instead of, I went out and had dinner last night and it wasn't great food. Let's talk about how we can bring in maybe like connect some resources inside our facility. So that's something that I plan on doing this year, is to try to see how we can connect them. Some of them, we're just not going to be able to get people that want to communicate. But I think there's so many stories out there that we need to hear them, and I think that will be a great thing. I plan on doing some videoing myself, getting some of the tax preparers that do come in on a regular basis, because we have return tax clients that come in year after year to get their taxes done. Again, I'm going to say this, it's a free service. So if you qualify, then we will do it free of charge without any cost. We can't take anything anyways. You could hand me a $100 bill and I would have to slide it back to you and say, I'm sorry, we cannot take that. It is against the policy of the IRS. It's actually fraudulent for us to do that. But we are a nonprofit organization, so I'm going to go back to the fact that we do take money. Nonprofit organizations with GRABC, a volunteer cannot take cash money, but GRABC can. You can go on our website, you can donate money through it, you can donate money through our Facebook, or you can call me and we can discuss ways to take donations. Because obviously if we don't have the money, we can't continue to fund this program. This program is funded partially through the federal government though, through the IRS. So the program is called VITA. It's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. And so all the volunteers, that's what they go through, is that Volunteer Income Tax Assistant Program. Where mine is Green River Asset Building Coalition, but we call it GRABC because it's easier to say. I can't think of anything else that would enhance the tax side. Again, most people don't even like to have to do taxes. It's one of those things that we all know we have to do. I know there is one thing. Something that's always brought to our attention. April 15th, everybody wants to get their taxes done because that's the deadline. So, and April 15th this year is actually the end of the tax day, and it's, I think, on a Monday, I believe. So, let's say I want to get my taxes done, and I'm waiting until April 15th because I know I'm going to owe the IRS money. Well, our program allows us to set a date. So you can come in January 29th to get your taxes done, and if you owe the IRS $375, we can set it up to not go out until April the 15th. That way you know that it's being paid. We can do an automatic deduction, but a lot of people will wait till that April 15th so they don't have to write that check or they don't have to have it withdrawn. We don't want you to do that because that sometimes we have to turn people away and we don't want to have to do that. So if we can get you in, get those taxes done, then you don't have to wait till April 15th. We can do it January 29th, which is the first day we do it, and set that date for your payment on April 15th. So that's one thing that is a huge thing because people wait for that specific reason. I'm not gonna say I'm not guilty of that. Like, I don't even want to do my taxes because I know I'm gonna owe the government money. I want to wait as late as I can. But with our program, we can set that date out so they don't have to pay until April 15th, even if they filed on January 29th. If you are going to come in, something I didn't say, Social Security cards, driver's license for you and your spouse, but if you have children or dependents on there, you would need to make sure you have their Social Security cards as well. And again, it doesn't have to be the original. It can actually be a picture on the phone, and we can go from there. We just have to be able to identify that Social Security card goes with your taxes. And really, I think that's probably about it. I know that one of the biggest things for us is how we can make sure that people in our community know what we do. And that is, again, free taxes for those that qualify. So if you're unsure if you qualify, feel free to call us at Green River Asset Building Coalition at 270-685-1603. Or you can email me. It's Teresa Thomas at grabc.org. And that is TERESA Thomas, THOMAS, at grabc.org. So other than that, go like our Facebook page, follow us, and we look forward to seeing you on tax season.